welcome. I am Kenneth Kelty, your host for Exceeding Expectations with Kenneth Kelty. This podcast is about all types of people with disabilities who want to go above what's expected of them and want to live their own lives. We want to highlight people who are blazing the trails both on a national level and in their own community. Today on my podcast, I will be interviewing my friends Lia and Neave McNeely from Northern Ireland, who will be talking about the international disability perspective. Lia and I became friends when she was on the board of directors for the Arc of the Triangle in the Raleigh and the Triangle area of North Carolina. And we were also classmates in a graduate level leadership program, LEND, Leadership Education in Neurodevelopmental Disabilities and Related Disorders. Until meeting Lia and Neave, I never knew much about dwarfism. Here with me are my friends Lia and Neave McNeely. Lia is a disability advocate, and her daughter Neave is a person with dwarfism. I will let them share their story and give their own introductions.
Hello, I'm Lia. I didn't know much about dwarfism before having Neave as well. So she was diagnosed at 2 because her type is so rare that they didn't catch it. So often, achondroplasia is the most common type. That's the type that Peter Dinklage, the actor, has. And they come out with very distinctive features. So it's often caught at birth or shortly after, whereas Neave was 2. Her type is more closely related to the actor Warwick Davis, who was in Willow, and he was actually the lead Ewok in Star Wars, but he was in a costume, so you wouldn't know. I think that was Return of the Jedi. So I have learned a lot. And in the beginning, I had no idea what was happening or what to do. I was not getting any help with the doctors. I ended up having to call the skeletal dysplasia program in at Nemours in Delaware to get Neave in there, where she was finally diagnosed. And they told me, this is what you have to worry about. This is what you don't have to worry about. And they helped me get a game plan. But I still didn't know what to do with her intellectual disabilities. And that is how I ended up at the Arc of the Triangle eventually, because Jennifer Faltzgraf, the executive director, her son is the same age as Neave, and they were in class together when they were 3. And Jennifer had been so frustrated by the lack of clear directions for parents of kids with disabilities that she had created a preschool and school level website reaching out to people, and she was helping me all the time. So when my son started kindergarten, I went to her and said, how can I help you back? And that's how I ended up at the ARC. Between going to the ARC and going to classes on IEPs and learning about how to do all of these things, the Special Education Inclusion Committee, which used to be Special Education Parent Teacher Association, but nobody really liked the name SEPTA. I learned how to advocate for Neave, but the bigger thing was getting Neave to advocate for herself, because I'm not always going to be here, but she is. It's her life, so she has to make decisions. So Neave is very good at that. So Neave, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Neave McNeely, and I was born with dwarfism and disabilities.
Intellectual delay.
Intellectual delay.
How old are you?
I'm 17 and a half years old now.
And how old were you when we moved to Northern Ireland?
14 or 15.
14, I think.
Yeah.
So you spent most of your childhood in Raleigh, going to schools there. How many schools did you go to? Do you remember?
5 schools.
So you went to Hilburn, and then they sent you to Sycamore Creek, and then
Yeah.
they sent you to Wiley, and then they sent you to Lynn Road Elementary, and then you got to go to Leesville Middle School.
Yeah,
Which one was your favorite? Do you remember?
Leesville Road Middle School.
Was it? And you got to ride the school bus?
Yeah, until
Well, until we moved here.
we
So,
moved here.
right. What were your favorite things to do? Because you did a lot of things when we were in Raleigh. I mean, you did Kung Fu, you did ballet and tap, you did abilities, soccer through habilitations, like so many things that you did. What was your favorite? Soccer was your favorite? Is there anything else you want to tell Kenneth? Like about now? Do you like your school now? What's it called? And
Paxo Tower School.
right? And you like it?
Yeah.
But is it inclusive or exclusive? Like, is there anybody in your school who, or like any of the students that are not disabled in some way? No. So you are kept completely separate in that way, which it was at Leesville. Leesville, even though you were in a regular education school, you were not out in the community. Whereas at Lynn Road Elementary, even though you were technically in the special class, they had you out so much. You spent more than 80% of your time out with the general ed. You took regular science, you took regular math, you did choir, they taught you how to play piano. But so Castle Tower is more like Leesville, where they keep you very separate. Right, so I'm talking for you. Is there anything else you want to tell Kenneth? No, we're not on this yet. We're just introducing.
No,
Oh, is that it? Okay.
that's it.
Right.
Okay, talk
Right.
for her.
Sorry, my mom talked for me.
That's fine. Yeah, and thank you both for your wonderful introductions. We're glad to have you here. Now, my first question will be for you, Leah. How are the experiences of people with dwarfism and other disabilities for people in Northern Ireland? Could you explain how Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom?
Well, it's been 100 years now, which is still a divisive thing. So way back when, a little over 100 years ago, Ireland wanted to become an independent state separate from Britain. But for certainly decades, but especially in World War I and just before, there was a lot of, well, even before that, but there was a lot of discrimination against the Catholics. So the Protestants who had been in power were worried that if the Catholics gained power, that they would treat the Protestants the same way the Protestants had treated the Catholics. So they were afraid. So a lot of the Protestants, there were a lot more Protestants in the northeast of Ireland anyway, because a lot of them came from Scotland, which is literally just across the channel, 13 miles away. So a lot of Protestants ended up moving into the north, and they begged the British government to keep them safe. So when they finally did partition, the Republic of Ireland got most of the counties, 36 counties, and 6 counties in the north stayed with Britain. And that is how we got Northern Ireland. So it's 100 years, and there still have been some contentions about it. But I think on the whole, even the people who might be nationalists don't really want to merge with Ireland. Ireland right now is still having growing pains, and their healthcare is very expensive. They don't have the social programs that people have become accustomed to up here. And the pound has been strong against the euro. You have pockets of extreme wealth around Dublin or Limerick, Adair, and then the vast majority of it is still not. So it's a very divided society. Whereas here in the north, we have robust social programs and a robust social safety net. We have the National Health Service. Neave has, because we've been here for more than 2 years, qualifies for a personal independence payment. So they pay her £60 a month or a week. It's like $100 a week. I keep saying month, it's a week. $100 a week just for being disabled, and she could use that for whatever. They also give her another £60 a week to go for a car. So this is called the Motability scheme. So we're using it to get our own car. So we're going to get a car with a lower threshold so that she can get in and out of it by herself, and it has sliding doors. So because since we've moved here without the minivan, we've had to lift her in and out of the car, which is it's not that we can't lift her, we haven't gotten that old yet. It's that it's kind of insulting. She's almost 18 and people are still picking her up like she's a small child, but that's the only way she can get in the car. So hopefully this will give her independence. And when she's ready to start driving, they will modify a car for her and give her a driving instructor. They will pay for the car, they will pay for the modifications, they will pay for the driving instructor so that she can get her license. And with the Motability, that payment goes towards that. So we don't pay car taxes, we don't pay for tires or windscreens, windshields, we don't pay for maintenance, literally, and every 3 years they give us a new car. So it's between free healthcare versus paying, $100, $200 a week for therapies in the States, and then all the driving there and back, and then paying for her own car, paying for her car insurance, all this stuff. She will have all of that. So for people with disabilities, they come in, they modify your home. Because they have a national health insurance, it's cheaper for them to come in and install guardrails leading up to your house, put in those chairs that go up the side of staircases so that people can still live independently in their home, than to have somebody fall and break a hip. So they come in, they modify, they'll give you those open showers, they'll add rooms to the house, whatever needs to be done so that you can be safe in your home. And every new house has to be built with a ramp, a downstairs handicapped accessible master, wider doors. So every house built for the past 15 years is going to be handicapped accessible as well. So honestly, for people with disabilities, I find it's less of a fight. Almost everywhere we go, they have a changing places toilet, which has a full-size bed and a hoist. So adults with disabilities can be changed in dignity and privacy versus on the floor or in the back of a car. And they have, so you have a special key that they give you for free, so that you can access these special toilets or the wheelchair swing. So it opens up a whole world. You don't feel trapped in your house. There's a lot of places in the US where you just can't. If you're disabled, you can't participate. And here they do everything they can to make it so that you can participate. And I've been so impressed about that. But again, they still have a long way to come because they have exclusive education. They're not inclusive for that at all. And even the social programs that they have for adults with disabilities are like the States. You've got everybody working in a cafe or everybody working in a sheltered workshop type thing. So, but I find that it's not hidden. There are people with disabilities everywhere here, and they don't make it shameful in the way they do in the States. Like in the States, it seems like people consider disability to be God's judgment, and which comes down from the Puritans, which settled Plymouth Rock, right? That God, if God loved you, you wouldn't be disabled. So and people still feel that way. I don't feel the sort of stigma that we felt in the States, which I fought against anyway. It didn't matter. I was like, I don't care. I'm not putting up with that. But so for Neave, I guess you could answer that as well. Like, do you find it easier here? You can't nod because they can't hear you nod. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking too long.
All right, yeah, if you want to maybe want to describe, you just talk, but describe maybe how inclusion and acceptance, maybe a little bit more, is like in your country. Yeah.
It seems very much, see, in most of the first world countries, in the US, in the UK, France, Germany, anywhere, about 1 in 5 people is disabled. And here, again, with the national health insurance, it's better for them. It's less expensive in the long run if they don't have people who keep getting sicker. In the States, if you fall down and break a hip, woohoo, they've made more money because now they have to put you in a hospital and then put you in a rehab facility, and they make tons and tons of money. Here they don't want to, because that's not making money, that's spending money. So that's why you don't even think about it here. You walk by and there's a house and they'll have a railing going up to the front door so that older people can age in place. They can hold on to the railing and walk up the steps. They're not going to slip and fall. And they just don't even think about it. And also, when Neave was born, obviously we didn't know. And then when she was 2, she was diagnosed with a dwarfism. I had no problem with that. I was like, okay, that's fine. We'll get step stools, we'll modify, whatever. But when she was diagnosed with the intellectual disability, that hit me more than it hit my husband. My husband was like, oh, I don't care. People here have 13, 15, 18 kids. Not all of them are going to come out perfect. When you have that many kids, you're going to have kids of varying abilities and, intellectual disabilities or physical disabilities. So for him, it was no bother. Whereas me, I was worried that she wouldn't be able to self-advocate and wouldn't be able to protect herself as an adult. As we learned in our class at the CIDD, over 80% of people with disabilities are sexually assaulted. And that was a concern of mine, even when she was itty bitty. It's like, how, if she gets stuck in a home, how do I protect her and keep her from being hurt, beaten, kicked, anything? So, but my husband had no problem with that, because he was like, well, they just stay with you, she'll live with us forever, and then she'll live with her brother. And I was like, I can't put that on a 2-year-old, like, are you kidding? But it really is here. They're just like, whatever. There's handicapped accessible neighborhoods in Randallstown where we live, and they're independent living flats, and they're either for elderly people or just people of any age with disabilities. And it's 1 story, and they have ramps, and there's a nursing facility on site if they need any help. And it's right there. It's next to downtown. So wherever we go in our town, there are people going with walkers or scooters or wheelchairs, and it's just everywhere. And it's, again, not hidden. Like in the States, I feel like they put you on a separate bus. They put you in a separate room. Nobody, before I had joined the ARC or anything, I knew nothing about sheltered workshops. I had no concept of the sort of abuse and dehumanization of people with disabilities. I hadn't heard of the institutions, and learning about those sorts of things is just ripped my heart to shreds. And they've had them here. Ireland has its problems in the North and in the Republic. We've heard about the houses where they put pregnant women. Well, the houses where they put people with disabilities were much the same. They had the same thing. And it all seems to have started about the same time here and in the States. In the 80s and 90s, there was this huge movement, disability movement, to change things. And I really feel like they've come a long way here. But I don't know, again, like with my husband's family and everybody here, they're just like, well, you just keep them at home forever, I was like, what if I get hit by a bus? Who's going to take care of her? Right, Eve? She's like, she's always worried about getting hit by a bus. Sorry. So I guess I also compared to but yes. So Kenneth, you can answer from the US perspective, how that sounds compared to the US. Sorry, I've taken over your podcast.
No, you're fine, Leah. Yes, I have no problem now being the one to talk. Yes, Ireland is definitely ahead. In America, I mean, there's always room for improvement. So it's like anywhere, but I feel that like there's still a lot of work to be done. I'm glad that acceptance in Ireland seems to be more of the norm. I am glad that that there are some affordable apartments that are part of the community here in the US, or cool intentional communities like North Street and North Durham, where people with disabilities are the primary people, and where inclusion and acceptance is the norm. But some of the service-based approach is more about money and funding. we do need money to keep things and services going, but there's long wait lists to get services, and not all places are always going to be as acceptable, and it's more of who you know. But definitely, hopefully over time, the US can maybe just not have it be as much about making the money, and can move into and can have the same progress as Ireland has. Now, Neave, this next question will be for you. What is your school experience like in Ireland? And do they have IEP meetings?
Well, you don't go to the IEP meetings, do you?
No.
Well, no, I think you went to the first one. COVID's making things difficult because now it's on the phone. They call them IPPs here, but it's the same sort of thing. They basically took her IPP from Raleigh and translated it over here, and they added things in. So, yeah. So, Neave, tell about your school, all the awesome things. We were writing down all the things that she liked about her school.
Hydrotherapy pool.
Oh yeah, you have a hydrotherapy pool. Yes.
Other therapy.
What about your home ec? Tell them about your home ec class. Tell them about that.
The sliding doors goes inward.
On what?
On the oven.
So when you open the oven door, then you push it in so you don't burn yourself on the door.
Right.
And what happens with the tables?
Goes up and down.
And what goes around your school? Didn't you guys have something fancy that went around the school that was like 4 feet tall?
What?
The robot?
The robot,
Is
yeah.
it still out there?
No.
Oh, you guys killed the robot.
No, we didn't kill the robot. I think it's away
Oh.
now due to COVID right now.
Oh, so Neave's school just opened. Well, her school is the amalgamation of several special needs schools. So they used to have one for physical disabilities, one for intellectual disabilities, one for severe disabilities, and they merged them all and created this new campus in 2017. So it's state of the art right now. But not all of the special education schools are as fancy as hers. She's really lucky to get in. There's a very long wait list. But so you started, but now you're in post 16. What is about post 16? What are you doing in this? If it was not COVID, she would be doing work study. Yeah.
Job experiences, but I couldn't.
Yes, because of COVID. So.
Because of COVID.
But what do you do at Engage? So once a week you go to Engage, which is a social enterprise, they call it here. Do you just play on the computer or do you learn working skills there?
I don't know.
Is it different every week?
Different every week.
Do you like it?
Yeah, but I don't go to not really active. I don't go to Engage anymore, so I skip that every week.
Huh? I thought it was just ending for Christmas.
Ending for Christmas, yeah.
But you'll start again in January?
Don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably if so.
So is your school very different from what it was in Raleigh, or is it much the same?
Very different.
How is it different?
I mean, because it has the letters on the side.
What does that mean?
Where the PE doors are.
Oh, yes.
The exit doors.
Oh, you mean the outside is different?
Outside.
I meant like your teachers. Are your teachers very different, or what you're learning very different?
Learning different, teachers different.
Yeah. I think she spends less time on history. I don't even know if they do history, but more time on life skills. So they're just preparing her for independent living after school. So she is expected to get a job, but they would normally be running a cafe and also getting work experience out in the town. So the town hires people, and next year will be her last year. So in the next few months, we're going to be approached by a social worker who's going to work with her to get into what she wants to do after school. So that's part of the National Health Service as well. They actually do, they call it the Health and Social Trust part of it. So every kid in the school will be assigned a social worker who will help guide them. So she wants to go to Trinity, so the social worker will find out what she needs to do and how she can get in there and help her do that. So I like that. I'm not really, I met so many people in Raleigh who had no idea. Their kids were 18 already. They were seniors in high school in the last year of their special education course. Their parents hadn't applied for guardianship. They hadn't applied for any post-secondary anything. They didn't know what their options were. They hadn't heard of the University Participant Program. So many people had absolutely no idea. So I spent a lot of time trying to educate people. But the school system really wasn't. So that was something that Jennifer Faltzgraf, again, saw a problem with and started doing the annual open house, special education open house for Wake County Public Schools, so that parents could find out what's going to happen, what I need to do, where I need to go, what courses should my kids be taking, because there doesn't seem to be any sort of guide. People are just thrown in and they're expected, I guess they expect the teachers to do all of this, but they can't, or there's only so much they can do. So it's nice that here they have identified this and they have a process. But again, COVID's thrown everything out the door, but we're hopeful. Right. Neave, do you have anything else to say about your school?
No.
No. She's
All right. All right. Thank you for the great insights. Now, Leah or Neave, what kind of services do people with disabilities have in Ireland, like supported employment or independent living?
Yes, they have both of those. They call them social enterprises here, but that's basically supported employment. It's run locally, mostly by something called MENCAP, but it's much like the supported employment that the ARC does. They go in, they find out what you want to do, they help you learn the job, you'll have a job coach. And they do have, again, like they have Trinity College. I don't see anything for post-secondary education in Northern Ireland at all, but they do have all the universities here have disability services. So that wouldn't be for somebody with an intellectual, just a physical disability. I mean, if you had dyslexia, they lump that in with an intellectual disability, but you have to still be able to take tests. You can't audit or whatnot. But our friend worked in the disability services of 3 universities here, and that's what she did. She made sure everybody got all the accommodations. They make sure you have a seat. They make sure you can get into the lecture. They just, and I think we have disability services at the universities in the States too. So I don't know that it's very different. I just don't have any experience with one at the States. But then again, like I said, they have the Motability. So Neave will be able to get a car. For now, we get the car as her carers. If I were not an immigrant, I would also get a carer's allowance. So they also pay the parents because they realize this is where it boggles my mind, right? So in the States, I can't work because my kid's disabled and I have to drive her to therapy 4 days a week, right? So, and I can't figure out how to work full time and drive her to and from school because both my kids are in 2 different schools and every year they send my kid to a different school. So like completely, absolutely no support. So it's like, right, I just won't work. I'll just volunteer. That's fine. But I get no support. I can't work. Neave doesn't qualify for disability with dwarfism. They don't consider her disabled enough, even though she can hardly walk, and she qualifies for a disabled badge, but she can't get any health care. So we're paying hundreds of dollars every week for therapy. We're putting all the miles on our car. Plus we're paying insurance premiums, which, they were like, just for her, $700 a month. And that didn't cover anything. That was just, once she hits $7,000, then we'll cover it, right? I had to drive to Delaware for her appointments and pay for the Ronald McDonald House myself. Here, if she needed to go to the hospital in London, which specializes in dwarfism, they would fly us there. They would pay for the flying, they would pay for the hotel and everything else. And, I fought and fought and fought and fought and fought while my family's telling me I'm lazy because I'm not working, and society's telling me I'm lazy because I'm not working and I'm not accruing towards Social Security and all this great
And
stuff.
just fought.
Fought and fought and fought. And then I come here and it's like, oh, you have a disabled kid. Here, we're going to give her £60 a week for being disabled, £60 a week for a car, but you won't have to pay. Right now, I pay £1,400, which is like $2,000, $1,800 to $2,000 in car insurance a year, because again, I have no driving record here. They will pay the insurance, they will pay the taxes, they will pay the maintenance. I don't have to pay anything for this car. So they're going to give her £60 a week for being disabled to use for whatever. They're going to give us a car for free with nothing. And if I were qualified, I would get £60 a week for being her carer, and the health care is free. They do all the therapies in school, and it's just as good therapy at her school as I would have gotten private in the States. Whereas in the States, I had to keep her in the private therapy because the schools couldn't do the therapy. They were like, can she walk across the gym? Good, she's fine. It doesn't matter that she can't get in and out of her chair. It doesn't matter if she can't get in and out of her bed. It doesn't matter that she can't feed herself. She can walk across the gym, and that was their goal. So, it's just so different, so different. Like I'm like, you're throwing money at me, and it's free, and I'm used to paying and paying and paying and paying and paying and paying and driving and driving and driving and driving. And it was so exhausting. And it get here and it's just screeched to a halt. I'm bored out of my mind now, but that's okay. Hopefully I'll get a job because I can. Like, it's set up so that I am fully supported, even though I don't qualify for the CARES allowance, which again is, it's $100 a week, but still $400 a month is nothing to laugh at. I can still get everything else. You don't need to make six figures here. You can make 20 grand a year and live comfortably, which is insane to me, after all the fighting that we did. So yes, so the services, so they've got the social enterprises, they got Motability. We have a disability social worker that's assigned to us to make sure that we get all of the services that we're eligible for. It's just amazing. It's like they work very hard to make it easy and doable and for everyone. And it's not even talking about all the mental health services. There's so many support groups, so many nonprofits, so like people checking up, sure that you're okay. And I'm like, you have no idea how okay I am after all the years of struggling in the States. It's just amazing. It's just, there's no struggle. So anyway, sorry, I think I covered another two questions.
No, thank you. That's fine. It's great to get all the inside him now.
Yeah.
Neave, I know you sometimes have to use a wheelchair. What is it like?
Good.
What do you like about your wheelchair?
Nice.
Well, so yeah, we had only been here a few months and they were like, you need a wheelchair. So she got to pick out her own wheelchair, and it's custom built to her. And again, she didn't qualify for any of this stuff in the US. And here they were like, no, you need a wheelchair. So she got a wheelchair, beautiful pink wheelchair.
Yeah. That way I don't have to walk that far.
Yes. We had an electric scooter, but the battery dies after 6 miles, and it also dies on hills apparently. So there's a big hill up to her school, so it kept dying every day. And then they would have to push her and the scooter up the hill, which was very difficult. So, and when she gets an electric wheelchair, the Motability will modify a car for that as well. So you might even be able to drive in your wheelchair if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find it difficult sometimes on the bumpy roads though? Bumpy sidewalks?
No.
No? You complained bitterly the other day about the bumps.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anything else to add about your using your wheelchair?
No.
Do you like the freedom it gives you?
Yeah.
Do you know you have to be pushed?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have any more to add to that question?
Yes. Oh yeah. I'll ask you. Where do you use the wheelchair, and where do you not use it?
Whenever I'm going outside and whenever I'm going to school, I'm not using it.
Right. So she doesn't use it to walk around the school, but she uses it. They try and take walks every day. So they'll use it then, or when they used to do before COVID, they would go shopping and buy the stuff to use in their cookery class. And obviously we use it around anytime we have to do distance. So, or if she needs to be walking quickly. Last weekend, we went to a Santa trail and we were able to borrow a wheelchair from the nonprofit that was running it. So that was an off-road wheelchair, but we can actually borrow that whenever we can request. So if we want to go up Slemish Mountain where St. Patrick had his epiphany, we can borrow this off-road wheelchair.
I don't think that's an option.
Neave doesn't want to do this because going up on a giant hill in a freezing cold place is not her idea of a fun day, but we could. And they have a beach wheelchair, so you can actually go out in the ocean as well, although the ocean here is like 20 degrees. I don't know. It's cold. It's not actually, because then it would be solid. Well, I don't even think it's 20 degrees Celsius. I mean, honestly, it's the water's probably around 50 degrees. It's freezing. So I wouldn't want to go swimming in it, but people do. So yeah, so they have an off-road wheelchair to borrow or a beach wheelchair to borrow, but you can park on the beaches here, some of the beaches. So we just park on the beach and then she can walk, she's not walking very far. So we haven't borrowed the beach wheelchair.
Oh yeah, that's nice that you can use anywhere, but yeah, 20 degrees would be a lot, yeah. To definitely
Yes.
swim.
It's not actually freezing most of the time, but it's just cold. That water is so cold. People wear wetsuits. I'm like, no, Neave, we went, they had, with the Dwarf Sports Association, they have that we would go annually to this place called Share Discovery Village, which is actually an outdoor activities campground type of place that was developed for people with disabilities. I think originally just people with Down syndrome, but then they expanded it. It has like a hotel type place with like individual rooms, and then it also has cabins. So we would go there, and the first time we went, everybody was putting on wetsuits to go swimming, and Neave took one look at it and was like, that is not going on me. But yeah, so I mean, that's just another example of the sort of thing they have in the north. Like, this is literally a massive campground on a lake that has everything is handicapped accessible. The bathrooms, every house is built in. They were doing laser tag, and you could do that in wheelchairs. It's just everything is for people with disabilities. And you have like week-long summer camps for different types, and you could go all year round, but yeah, the water's cold.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome and cool to know.
Yes.
Another cool question will be, do Ireland and the UK have something like the Americans with Disabilities Act?
Yes. As I mentioned before, it started about the same time. I think in the UK, they first started it in 92, and in Ireland, it was 96. So Ireland has a national disability authority, and the UK, it's just part of their government, but they have a Disability Discrimination Act that they started in 1995 that still works in Northern Ireland, but the rest of England, Scotland, and Wales have the Equality Act. It was replaced by, I don't know why, but it's very much the same, like against direct, indirect discrimination, not accommodating, and harassment, not hiring people, victimization, things like that. So yeah, they have all of that, and their Disability Discrimination Act covers education as well as workplace discrimination. So it's not a separate thing as far as accommodations. They just folded it all into one. But because of when it was kind of modified, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a lot of it based on the ADA, which came out first.
All right, thank you. I'm glad to know that there are good laws and policies.
Yes.
Up there for people with disabilities. Now, Neave, after you graduate from high school or secondary school, what would you want your college and work experience to be like?
At Trinity College Dublin.
That's where you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we are looking into Trinity College's program for people with learning delays, as they call them. And what do you want to do after you go to college?
I don't know.
Do you know what kind of job you might want to have?
Mm-mm.
Would you like to work at a university like Miss Jane did?
No,
No.
that would require math.
Oh.
The right math. If I did the wrong math, then
Not every job requires math.
Right.
So, you know, but you don't know what you want to do yet?
no,
But you definitely don't want to work in a shop because that requires math, right?
no.
Do you want to bake? Would you like to work at a
That
bakery?
requires math.
Yeah, but that's just cups. You know how to do that. I don't know.
No,
We'll get to there when we come to it, I guess.
Yeah, well, you can always, yeah, well, it's just like anything. Remember, you can always think you might like something, but then you discover you like something more.
Yeah,
So with that,
exactly.
and and you can always figure it out.
Yes.
I'm
Now,
making a hat for my cousin. So
Oh, yes, you're knitting now. Yes.
Hmm.
She has a knitting thing like you got, Kenneth. She was
all
really
right,
excited.
I think that all right, that goes all right. That's awesome. Now,
Yes.
that kind of ties into what do you like to do for fun, huh?
Yes. I showed her your picture on Facebook with making the blankets.
All
And
right,
she was
thank you.
like,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of scarves and hats now too. Yeah,
Yeah, I still have your scarf. Still wear it often.
yeah. Or things you like to do for fun up there, yeah.
What do you like to do for fun, Neve?
don't know.
That's why we write it down, right? So what were we talking about that we like to do for fun? Oh, train rides. She loves taking the train. They have really good public transportation here, but she and John took the train down to Trinity in October. So they could take them from Antrim town into Belfast, and then they transferred over to the train that goes from Belfast to Dublin. And then did you take a bus or walk to Trinity from that train station? Yo, so it was close enough to walk.
Yeah.
With your wheelchair.
With my wheelchair.
Yes, so she loves train rides, and we've taken the train into town to go to the markets.
Yeah, but Trinity College is the other direction.
Oh.
So my dad and I went the wrong direction, and we both had to turn around and had to walk all
Well, I know you found it because you got the shirt. Yes. And let's see. Oh, and of course we like going to the beach and seeing the cousins. And what do you do on Wednesdays? What have you been doing on Wednesdays?
Really active.
Really active, which is part of Disability Sport NI. So they do wheelchair sports on a Wednesday. And it was 4 times a year, but COVID has kind of messed it up. They also have wheelchair skills classes. So we went to one in October where they taught us how to go over curbs safely in a wheelchair, pushing yourself, how to go uphill safely without toppling over, because they showed you how easily you could tip over. We went to ones before where they showed you how to open the door and wedge yourself in it so that you would keep the door open. And apparently they'll teach you how to go downstairs backwards in your wheelchair, holding on to the railing. So if there's an emergency and you need to go downstairs, you can get yourself down, which is not anything we've ever come across in the States, ever. Like, this is just great. And they offer them, again, like 4 to 6 times a year. And they're open, like they have different age groups, but things like that that was fun, wasn't it? I can't pop a wheelie very well. So I kept running into the curb and nearly flinging myself out of the wheelchair. You did really well. But then we discovered, because of Neve's size, the seat of her wheelchair is fairly far forward. So her arms should hang down so that they're in the middle of the spokes in the center of the wheel. But hers are in front, so that makes it harder for her to do things because she can't utilize a quarter of the wheel when she's propelling herself. But yeah, she was able to do a lot of stuff, and she had fun. You went up the hill and everything, right? All right, is there anything else you like to do for fun here?
No.
Nope, she's done.
All right, now what do you like? Now split question, what do you like about trains?
What do you like about trains?
We're turning back to Ansel.
Oh, do you like being able to see out the window, or do you like
out the window?
And not listening to mommy shout while driving.
Mhm.
Did you like taking the train in America too?
Mhm.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to know they have a lot about wheelchair accessibility up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you go to the train, they have a car specifically for wheelchairs, and they have a ramp. So the conductor will come, pop the ramp out, and get you on and off, and that works. Although I had a friend who lives in Cork in the Republic of Ireland, and she asked them for the ramp, and they said, sure, we could just lift you. They picked her up and put her on, and she was like, I am 35 years old. This is not okay. So there is that certain amount of dignity, I guess. You were so bad. Yes, you don't have that. So usually it's fairly simple.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you for all your very wonderful questions. Now, I will like to say a special thank you to my friends Lia and Neave for joining us to talk about what it's like to live with a disability in Northern Ireland. I would like to thank you for listening to my podcast and stay tuned for more episodes coming once a month. Happy holidays, everyone. This is your host, Kenneth from Exceeding Expectations with Kenneth Kelty. Go above expectations. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Welcome. Thank you. It was great to talk and hear your perspectives. Yeah.
Yeah, great to see you again.
See you again. Yeah.